up, guys? We're going to do some channel reviews again. It's something that I am definitely going to, it's going to be, you know, part of the channel now. I'm going to do a lot more of them. I get to see a lot of really cool, you know, arborist stuff all the time. And some of these channels blows my mind that they don't have a much bigger following, but I guess the industry on YouTube is completely saturated. There's just so much of it. So I understand that, you know, you're going to end up with some good channels that are left behind because there's so much of it out there. But there's so many different versions. You know, you have your American version. You have your, you know, and even in America, it changes from East Coast to West Coast. And then you got your middle of America that probably does things a bit different. And then you'll jump up to Canada and, you know, BC and all that area. And then it's going to switch when you go over the pond. You get over in Europe and stuff. Now, today we're going to focus on a channel and some guys that are from, I believe, if I'm wrong, I apologize. I know they're from, like, Australia area. Now, I could be wrong. They could be, you know, I know that there's a big difference between, you know, the Aussies and the New Zealanders. So, if I'm wrong there, I apologize. Probably should have did a little bit more homework, but this is what I got for you. So, the channel we're going to review today is, it's called Live by the Saw, up here. These guys are great. I enjoy watching them. They're so funny. But they put out a video just recently, and I want to try to stay with up-to-date videos because it gives me a talking point on, you know, how YouTube has changed how a lot of people do things. And they'll see something on YouTube and then go and try it. And a lot of times it doesn't work out right because some of them techniques aren't meant to be used, you know, except for, you know, certain guys can develop a special technique, and just because they do it doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. So, these guys, let's see here. Like I said, the channel name is Live by the Saw. You guys should definitely go check them out. They're hilarious. They make some really good videos. They have a total of 586 subscribers. When I was kind of doing my research on their channel, the channel picked up about a year ago. So a year ago, they really started to put a lot of videos out on a consistent basis. Before that, I think they have like 2 videos that are from 3 years ago. And they got a lot of views, but nothing was really done on their channel for that 2-year period. So I think the channel has been, you know, 3 years old, but for 2 of them years, they put out 2 videos. Now, for this past year, they've really been kicking out some really good videos. The guys are hilarious, and it's fun to see how, you know, the difference in their trees and how they do things over there. So, see what we can get in here. I try to put myself some, like, talking points here, but then this kind of throws me all off. I should probably just do it organic. But their most popular video is my personal tree fails, how not to be an arborist. Hilarious. But I think that video had like 46,000 views, so a really good video. That was 8 months ago when that video came out. So like I said, in this past year, they've really been trying to build their channel. So I kind of want to help with that. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys their name again. Go over and check them out. I promise you'll enjoy the content. If you enjoy any kind of tree work, these guys are hilarious. Now, I'm American. Subtitles would be nice sometimes because, you know, the accent is hard for me to kind of pick up on every time. So I'm like, I have to rewind. But let's just get into their video and get into what we was going to discuss here. Here it is. The video we're going to do is failed back cut first and other nonsense. Let's see. Let's just get into it. Let's watch the video here. Starts us out with a disclaimer. The job you are about to see is of Herculean proportions. Initially failing to believe it would take us all day, our boss admittedly stated a full day is required with the help of Jack, the Savageless, and the amazing Tinkus Pinkus to the overwhelming size of the job. It is said that the tree is commonly mistaken as the world tree Yggdrasil from the Norse mythology. Very sarcastic. Very funny.
It's obviously going to take 8 hours. You can see it's just it's enormous. Even though we can fell it straight away, it's obviously going to take all of 20 minutes to dice up.
It's so funny because these guys deal with some of the biggest red gums, and so they tease us here with.
Yeah, fuck. Might even have to do a bit of overtime.
They're talking this is going to take them overtime to finish this one.
We're going to be fucked with this huge job. this massive astronomical view.
These guys are hilarious. Not to mention some additional huge removals we had to take care of first. Woo! That was a hog. Yeah. Oh my. It's a brave man. It was risky not setting up a tagline, but I got away with it. Nice. He said you're running out of time, it's already 9 a.m.
On the U, and we've already got this massive pole that's going to take all of 10 minutes.
Or maybe they're called eucalyptus. Red gum, I may be wrong about that. Probably, he said euc, so it's probably eucalyptus. That's what these are. Ooh, look at that spider.
Welcome to Australia.
I was right, they are Aussies. Now if you notice, he's doing the notch first, the traditional notch, then back cut. So things have been that way since tree work started because that's the way things work the best. This back cut first thing that's come out onto the internet, it's because of bucking. That's a special technique bucking has came up with. So it's something that I would not recommend anyone ever using. Now if you want to learn it, I say learn every technique. Take your time, use it when it's not life and death in an open area, and learn the ins and outs of the technique before taking it and trying to use it on a job site. So these guys go about it very smart. So this video is not to poke at these guys none. I love watching these guys. This is probably one of my favorite YouTube channels as far as tree work. Having phone troubles. Let me make sure I'm recording still. Yeah, we're good. We're just cleaning up the notch right now. Buddy's telling him to check his aim because they're going to need every bit of space in this yard to be able to put this tree in there. So he's going to have to be on point. That's the way to do things. Like, there's no reason to come flying into a back cut and just like the point of that back cut is to be coming in and angling and like aiming the cut. So like if you leave too much hinge over here, it's going to swing the tree this way. If you leave too much hinge over here, it's going to swing it this way. So keeping an even cut and taking your time is a must. Every time I try to bring in a new guy and teach him how to make the back cut and everything, It's always, whang, it's full blast as fast as they can cut into the back, and they cut their hinge out. Never fails. I'll put a video out soon showing you it. So, let's get back. Ooh. Dang, that took every bit of space. Let's watch that again. Oh, wow, look. That's the hydrant right there. Wow, that was cool right here. I think that's a hydrant. It looks like it's got a little crank thing on it. Jack's fake bark at the cat was dead on. See the cat down here? Sassy poo.
Sassy poo.
Once again, not a whole lot of room for these trees to fit in this yard, so these guys are gonna have to be on it. Now, it says Tink showing off his scumbolt bullshit. So I don't think Humboldts are as known and as used over in Australia as they are over here. A Humboldt is usually meant when you want the log to travel off the stump and away. A traditional is going to keep it on the stump. So, and then sometimes it's just a preference, what you like, what's easier for you to put in. Woo. Nice. Get it. Tank nailed it. Okay, now we're to the one we were going to discuss. A big thing in tree work. Setting your rope, getting that girth around the top is so difficult when you have multiple limbs and stuff. So how to isolate like a gimp, he says. He battles this for a while to try to get it around. That's why I would take that rope, run it down, and base anchor it to the tree, because sometimes it's just too hard to get around one stem. So that's where the base anchoring comes in handy. But again, that's a technique that needs to be practiced before used in a spot like this too. So, luckily, it's not very high up. They use a stick, get a hold of it. They'll get it girthed up here in just a second, and we'll get on to the tree.
What's the time down right now? About 3:36. Yeah, I've got to get your beautiful helmet in, not your face, you know.
What the hell?
Swimming. They call me fucking Philip Hughes.
He says, I'm swimming. You can call me Philip Hughes or what the fuck ever, he says. Who is Philip Hughes?
Michael Hughes.
Michael Hughes?
Hughes, that's a life brand. What? Michael Phelps.
Oh my god. Okay. So I was wondering where they were going with that. He meant to say, call me Michael Phelps. He says, call me Philip Hughes. And then he says, dude, Philip Hughes is a life brand. What are you talking about? He says, okay, Michael Phillips. So it's Michael Phelps is what he was, because of the swimming. But these guys are something else. They're so hilarious. And this kind of stuff is in every one of their videos. So this isn't just a one-time thing. So let me check the camera one more time before we get too deep. Okay, we're still good. Airplane mode works good. I'm going to have to use that from now on. All right, here we go. Now, the tree's cinched up. They've got a rope in it. And now they're going to try the back cut first. Now, the reason I think this is okay, because it's on the job site and stuff, is because they set a rope first. Banging trees over with wedges it's 2022. It's not 1960. we have techniques of being able to get these things down safer, more efficient. So this banging wedges thing, I get it. It's cool. I like to bang some wedges every once in a while and take a tree over like that. But I promise you, it's going to take you a lot longer to sit there and bang wedges on a back-leaning tree than it's going to take me to set a rope quickly, hook it to a tree jack or a couple guys pulling, and pull it over. So, in my opinion, banging wedges, it ain't all it's cut up to be. So, back cut first. Here we go. Let's see if we can figure out if there's anything maybe you did wrong here. That looks about right from what I kind of studied Buchan's methods, and he does go about halfway with the back cut. Then pulls out. So we're good so far. Everything looks. That's the only guy I've ever seen do this on the internet. The only guy I've ever seen do it, period, is Buck. So they're going off what they've seen. And, and they're doing it right so far. So, back cut, and he's banging his wedge in. He's going to set it. Now he's going to put his notch in. And here's where everything can go awry. And this is one of the main reasons I think this isn't a good technique. One of the most difficult things that guys run into when they're doing trees and fallen trees is getting the notch cut perfect. Now, the reason you do the notch first is because it may take you a few cuts. You may not line that cut up perfect. So, until you become so amazing with a chainsaw that your notches are perfect every time, boom, 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 you hit it, you don't need to even clean them, like bucking. It's not a good idea. It's just not. This tree, also, I believe, I don't think the tree is leaning back. I actually think the tree is leaning forward a little bit. So, a good tree to try this on, but I understand why this happens because of the lean of the tree, and just in my opinion, this just isn't a good idea. Now you've banged a wedge in, you can't get into your back cut no more. It's not even possible because you got a wedge completely banged in there, and you got to hope that you can line this notch up and you hit it perfect. Because if you don't, everything's off whack and everything's ruined. So let's see how this works. Cut's looking pretty good so far. He's only on his back cut, or his bottom cut on the notch so far. So still got to put his top. And right there, do you see that? Right there, it cracked. He's too far. The tree's set down onto his chainsaw already. So let's see what that said. Dang it. I'm not used to this setup yet. It cracked right there, and it's about to come down. Like, it cracked good. So, it says, I think driving, he thinks that maybe he put his wedge in too far. So, now look, that wedge isn't doing anything. That tree is now pinched down on that saw. It's cracking its way down. That could just be the bark, so they may be alright. But, what do you do now? That chainsaw's stuck in there. It's going forward already. He says we're just going to snap cut it.
Snap cut fell technique. Ready?
Now they got the chainsaw out.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. So
well, we fucked this up.
Now what he's going to do, which is a very, very, very smart move. Now this is closed off. You can't go there. So what he's going to do is he's going to step up above it. into new, good, solid wood, and he's going to put another notch. So he's making his bottom cut. Now he's making the top cut. Now if he needed to right here, he could simply make another back cut, and it'll go over the way every tree does. So he set himself up for success here. I like this. He's telling him to back cut it, but I don't even think they need to. Watch. Because it'll work its way up. If that's your worst fail, you're doing good. The tink bolt, he says. And he calls himself out and says that was a horrible joke. But he says this is the tink bolt. So I guess that's tink there. These guys are just, they're hilarious. You definitely, you gotta go watch them. You gotta go check them out. The back cut first, it's a super advanced technique that I personally don't feel like, it doesn't have a place with me. It's not something I'll probably ever use. It's just too easy. It's too easy to do other techniques and other methods that are going to make it much easier, much safer, and more efficient. So I'm sure that this has a place, especially if you're a logger that's out in the woods and, and you're just banging trees and stuff like that. But personally, I don't feel like the back cut first has a place in residential tree work. That's just my opinion. I feel like if you're going to teach a technique like that or discuss a technique like that, you really need to explain the dangers of it, and that it's a hard one to do. I mean, just in general. So you gotta watch yourself as you're doing it, and definitely do it somewhere where it's not a life or death situation where you're gonna smash somebody's place or anything. So, am I saying you shouldn't do this? I'm not telling you what to do. I think you should do whatever the hell you want to do. But would I use it, the technique? No. I think these guys tried it to try it. I mean, the same thing I probably would have done, and I have tried this technique before. It didn't serve a good purpose and didn't do anything good for me. I had to trip the sides, plunge the front because the cuts weren't perfect, and I was doing it on a pig nut hickory, which is so stringy and tough. So I don't like the technique. That's not to say that you won't and that it won't work for you, but in my opinion, not good. I don't think that it's a technique that should be glorified so much on the internet and on YouTube, and I completely disagree with it, especially because the platform where you're seeing this, which is Buchan's channel, is filled with new people that have never done tree work, and you're skipping all the regular techniques and the standard practices, and you're going straight to just this insane, silly, advanced technique that's going to get somebody hurt. So, also, like climbing with a buck, there's a lot of things on the internet that, this is just my opinion. Use the internet as a reference source, not as a teaching source. You can't let it teach you everything, because just because another guy gets away with something does not mean that you're going to get away with it. So, I think these guys went about it the best possible way. They had a rope in that tree. That's a backup. You should always put a backup. There's no reason not to. A throw ball that quick sets a line, and worst case scenario, let's say a ripping wind comes through. You have control. You can pull it over. You have command. You're not always going to have command with wedges. That's just my opinion. So, just put a rope in it. Use a throw ball. Throw a throw ball up there. Set a rope. But these guys, once again, live by the saw. Hilarious. You guys got to go check them out. You got to go, give them, subscribe to them. Hit a few thumbs up. Share some of their videos. These guys deserve much more, attention than they get. And it puzzles me to see their channel only at like 586. Let's put these guys up at that, over that 1,000 mark. That way they can start maybe doing some live videos and stuff. Yeah, that's just, this is my take on it. Live by the saw. Definitely, please go check these guys out. I love their channel. Like I said, one of my favorite YouTube channels that I watch. Hilarious. It's got the humor with it. A lot of good tree work. And it's a different kind of tree work. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, maybe you shoot me a suggestion for the next one. And we do it then. Maybe we can do a live feed one. With my new camera, I can actually go live on that GoPro. So maybe we can do a live review so we can all discuss it. And I maybe we'll go with like a viral tree video that's been up on the internet. There's been a couple of them that are maybe not completely viral, but on the verge of being viral. A lot of views. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, maybe hit a thumbs up. I appreciate if you guys share any of these videos. And like I said, you got any suggestions for the next one, don't hesitate. Leave them in the comment section. Other than that, I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe.